So much positive momentum at the Ryder Cup, the Sunday singles performance, even the next week with the World Long Drive in the top 10. And we're like, oh, man, Bryson not only has won back the fans over, but it seems like his game was going to be ready for a huge breakout season on the PGA Tour. It hasn't been the case. I mean, his best finish, T25.
Yeah, a lot of missed cuts for the 2020 U.S. Open champ. On Monday, the Masters, he admitted he didn't exactly follow doctor's orders.
Did the doctors tell you not to come back?
They recommended that I don't come back for a while. They said, if you go out there and hit golf balls and you feel somewhat comfortable, then, you can consider it. And, they're like, you should really let it heal. And even Chris has told me, like, you probably shouldn't play, even though he wants me to play, obviously, right? But he's really looking out for my best interest for the future. But I'm like, man, this only comes around once a year, and I got to give this a go.
That was then, and this is now. On Thursday, Bryson DeChambeau, he took to social media announcing that he underwent successful left wrist surgery on his fractured hook of the hamate bone. And on Instagram, Bryson with this message: over the past few months, my team, Dr. Graham, and myself have been monitoring the fracture of the hamate bone in my left wrist. I made attempts to play through the injury at 3 recent events, including the Masters. This is typically an injury that requires surgical treatment. Through continued discomfort from the fracture, it has caused me to alter my grip and swing, resulting in my inability to compete at golf's highest level. This has not been easy physically and mentally for me. For now, I'll be taking the appropriate time needed to rest and recover from this procedure and look forward to competing at the highest level within the next 2 months.
Wow.
So, Bryson giving a timeline. Your thoughts on him trying to play through the injury and then what we subsequently see as the end result?
Not everybody can be Tiger Woods, I guess. And this is a story. I had to do a little research. The hook of the hamate is a part of the wrist. And this Hand Sports Surgery Institute in New York City said it's also called golfer's wrist. It comes from baseball players and also golfers occasionally. It's almost like a repetitive syndrome. You're hitting the earth or you're hitting the ball repeatedly. And
the force.
It's the inflammation. So you have to wonder, are 200-mile-per-hour ball speeds sustainable over the long haul, or should he get back to the 175, 180, which is what he averaged in 2019 and was still one of the top players in the world? I mean, listen, the guy is trying to push the envelope. We know that, and he likes dabbling in the World Long Drive game. Is this a message to him that it's just not sustainable, that the body can't handle that load?
Well, and I'd be curious if this is dependent on the ball speed or the reps that he's put in. And we see Bryson, after a round, staying at the range for 3 hours after play. And his weeks off, he eats, breathes, and sleeps golf. He is pounding balls. He is a range rat. I think what makes Bryson great is his ability to think outside the box and have the self-belief that he can push the envelope further than anyone has. That's him playing single-length irons. That's him chasing ball speed to be the longest on the PGA Tour. But then that's also him thinking that I can defy doctor's orders, come back 2 months earlier, and compete at Augusta, and then miss the cut by a ton. And now you worry that type of injury, not quite a death sentence, but that sticks with professional. That's ended many a career in the professional golf ranks. Our colleague Aaron Oberholzer had wrist injuries, and he could play a round or 2 at a high level. Couldn't play at 4, and he couldn't practice on his off weeks, and that's why he had to retire at an early age. So that my bigger concern is just if the trajectory of Bryson's career, if he's dealing with these injuries now, it's not going to get better at old age.
Well, hopefully these are conversations he's having with Chris Como, Mike Schy, members of his teams, most importantly, his doctors. And you have to wonder, can he go back? I mean, he was a whippy kid out of SMU, and I wonder if this bodybuilding exercise, it's for speed, but is there a psychological standpoint as well in trying to kind of build his body and be the baddest dude on the PGA Tour? And is it intimidating? I mean, Tiger threw his weight around, and we know the back and forth with Brooks Koepka that Bryson has had. I'm wondering, is this just about ball speed, or is there something else at work as well?
Well, I think any athlete to compete, you have an ego. Everyone obviously has an ego. But I do think to push it to that level, part of it is not just optimizing in Bryson's mind his chances to win, because he thinks if I miss the fairway but I'm closer to the hole, then it's an easier second shot, and overall the analytics would dictate that that's the best way for me to approach week in and week out. But I think what we hear him say to the media and his peers, like, there's a certain sense of swagger and bravado in his mind that I'm the longest guy. I hit 7-iron into the par 5. What did you hit in?
Yeah.
And it's like what you hear in junior golf or college golf, where there's an obsession with distance, and generally pros reach a point where they're comfortable in their own skin with their game and saying, okay, this is my game, where I'm at. I'll have some tweaks, but I'm not trying to chase an extra 20 to 30 yards.
Yeah, I think Bryson has some growing up to do, and I think that this is going to be one of those teachable moments for him. You know, you have to protect your confidence for sure, but you also have to protect your body. It's the only one that you have. So
your body's your asset.
It is. It is. I mean, that's your moneymaker. Yeah. I mean, that's how he goes about his business. His daily bread is by winning and being competitive on the PGA Tour. I just think that this was the concern early when he started to change his body, and doing so in a rapid fashion. Can he thrive? Can he be successful putting on weight quickly? In the short term, the answer was yes. I mean, to do what he did at Winged Foot in the U.S. Open was an absolute affirmative to that question. But that was a short-term, situation. Now we're talking about when you reach your 30s, when you reach your 40s, does this linger? Can the rehab and the surgery get him back to where he can be making 25 starts a year on the PGA Tour?
As a golf fan, love watching Bryson and what he's done. And when we're at PGA Tour events, there's a big disconnect between Twitter and then the reception that he was receiving at events, especially at the Ryder Cup. I mean, he was like the Pied Piper. He lifted the driver up after driving the first green on Sunday. But my concern is, if he has lingering injury issues for the next year or two, are we then going to look back and be like, if he hadn't chased bulk and he was the skinny version of Bryson, who was top 10 in the world, had 4 wins in a calendar year, 2018, what would his career have become down the road if he hadn't gone that route? Or is this just a temporary blip where he actually follows doctor's orders, takes the proper time to recover, and then figures out, okay, how do I strengthen my body to support that so I can maybe have this version of bulk or like a 90% version of swing speed going forward? I don't know that you can fully go back to 170s, but can you get like
something
somewhere in between? Yeah, I don't know.
Love that you call him the Pied Piper. Hard to play the flute, though, when your hands are hurting.